Holy crap, guys. What a great episode. Now, it isn't without its flaws. It really isn't. But, wow, seriously, I say this all the time, but it is getting better every episode after episode. And you don't need Jeremiah/Cameron Monaghan to do that, because this episode was great. And I want to call it the episode of twists. It was just phenomenal. It really was. There, as I said, there was some things that I actually really didn't like. I feel like I've made my mind up on a couple of things. Barbara. But if you are new to this channel, everybody, why not subscribe? If I said everybody, some of you are subscribed. But if you're new, subscribe. Why not? Because there's more videos like this, and there's other videos on other shows and nerdy stuff, and yeah. And of course, if you do like this video, why not actually like it? Because you know, if you liked it, you hit the like button and it shows your support. Thank you. Now, right at the beginning, we got the answer to those scenes in the promo of all those people fighting, all those ninjas, as Barbara puts, fighting Barbara. And we found out that it's just a test. Now, my favorite part of this moment and this whole scene at the beginning of the episode is that we learned that the demon's head power within the Gotham universe here allows Raish to see the past, present, and future, which is very interesting because, you know, we learned that she was just like, how do you think Raish has become one of the most ferocious or like vicious warriors of all time, ruled empires? Because he saw the future. And it's just like, of course, like, man, imagine how powerful you truly are with that. And in this moment, we learn that Barbara, you know, hasn't exactly unlocked the true potential, obviously, of the demon's power. That would be a bit ridiculous straight away, even though she kind of did, but you know what I mean. And in this moment as well, from Ninja Lady #1, I just like to call her because I can't remember her name for the life of me. We learned that, you know, to unlock such a power, you have to, it's triggered by intense emotions. And I quite like this specific take on the demon's head and the powers that it holds. With Gotham, I seriously feel like it would be such a big shame, such a freaking huge shame if what they're setting up, because what I feel like what they're setting up is going to be huge, so huge, it's already huge for season 5, and I'm sure you guys have already heard about the rebootish kind of thing they're doing. I will bring out a separate video on that when I can, but yeah, the reason why I'm including that is just because the whole vibe in this episode, the things are setting up, the demon's head and everything is just wild, and I feel like season 5, honestly, it's good. It would be really good for like this kind of stuff, because Gotham is this stuff is a lot more interesting than the Alice Tech virus. Come on, guys. I mean, like, do you know? But yeah, even though I'm going to talk even more about, obviously, the Barbara Raishi and the Laurie kind of stuff, I like how Gotham shoved right in our faces, right at the beginning of the episode, such interesting aspects to their universe in terms of the demon's head and the powers and stuff like that. It was really, really cool. And come on, guys, I don't know about you, but I loved that opening shot of Gotham, you know, with Bruce, you know, in the proto Batmobile, but like how it panned from the sky and downwards. It was just so Gotham. And come on, like, Bruce in that car, doesn't he suit it? But, you know, when Selena was just like, says this guy got like a covert mode, and he was like, psst, please. And then he changed the car into quiet mode, and it literally was much more quieter, and the vroom, which obviously can be like used for stealthy missions and stuff like that, which I honestly feel we will see more of. Maybe, I don't know about this season if we see the quiet mode, but yeah, like, honestly, as I said, this is why we need a season 5, especially with what Danny Cannon's saying about the whole rebootish aspect. It's not going to literally be rebooted, but they are going to terraform it in terms of, you know, I feel like they're giving us the tasters already with how different this show is already. It's still got a lot of errors, in my opinion, which I'll get to, but it's so much more cooler, as I said, than the Tech virusy stuff, the fish meta-human-y stuff. Do you know what I mean? They will be including stuff like this so much next season, because especially with what Ray said towards the end, like how, you know, the No Man's Land event, the Cataclysmic event is going to basically give Bruce his true calling. He's not going to be Batman by any means, because he's already on the path of his vigilante stuff, but he's going to really rise up. But don't get like misunderstood. Like, he's not going to literally be, oh, I'm going to be Batman, but not put the cowl on yet, but I know I'm going to be Batman. That's not going to happen, but you know what I mean. Now, the next moments were of Lee, and Lee, this episode, we kind of got a little bit more of. The thing is, I'm struggling, like, with her character in terms of, I was just like, do I dig this darkly? I really like the nice Leslie Tompkins, and I know Gotham likes to go the different routes, but I was, you know, I didn't want to judge, you know, I was waiting, and at different points in this episode, I was like, okay, maybe I'm down with that, but not really, and then, you know, I mean, it kept shifting. The thing I didn't like initially about Lee is, like, her whole criminal persona that she's taken now. But I felt like they did actually explain it this episode. You may like it, you may not like it. I like how she still got a good aspect to her. I mean, for example, she saved Jim. If she was cold-hearted, she wouldn't have done that. But she also is giving all the millions of money to the poor with the 5 banks that got robbed the previous night in Gotham, which is obviously Riddler and Lee, which we followed on from the previous, well, that episode where they kissed, and then she's like, how many banks can you rob, Lee? I mean, Ed. So I kind of took it as like she's kind of like found her calling with this Narrows leader position, and she's like a den mother now. But also we got that, I'm going to jump to this part, it's not so chronological, but still, you know, we found out at the end of the episode where they were robbing their bank, but I'll kind of get to that. That Enigma said that when the virus entered Lee, and then even though she was cured, it unlocked something in her, especially it kind of unlocked when she killed Sophia. And I feel like that isn't impossible to believe at all. I feel like, you know, she was put into Cherry's position in the Fight Club. She did kill Sophia. She was infected, and she felt good. The Tetravirus makes you feel good and stuff like that. You know, it gives you this dark side, and you enjoy it. Even though she was cured, you know, that shakes you. And as I said, she was put into Cherry's position, so she's found this empowerment, but she's still herself in a way, so she looks after people. But she now has got the thrill of all this stuff. So I do buy it. So I don't know where I'm truly at with it, but I am slightly more with the whole Lee side of things, I guess. I'm just going to see how it continues to go. I just felt a bit weird, because sometimes when they do stuff like this on the show, the characters do tend to act quite different. But I suppose it's not, like, so different from real life. Do you know what I mean? With Lee's charisma, it almost feels a bit too forced sometimes. And don't get me started on Barbara's you know, stuff, but I'll get to that as well. But this is when Grundy and Penguin came in and was like, count us in, because they need money, because, yeah, Sophia basically screwed Penguin over in everything, in finances and everything. So I kind of liked that introduction. It was very funny. I was getting a bit worried, you know, I wasn't forgetting what Grundy's motive was for hanging out with Penguin, but I was getting a bit worried that by seeing Grundy by Penguin's side again and just kind of being a bit quiet was just like Butch again, especially when Penguin like put his hand against Butch from going forward. Do you know what I mean? I felt like, are you just Butch again? Are you going to be back to that storyline? Even though I loved Butch, but people were complaining that he wasn't doing a lot. He was just standing there. You know, it had the occasional line. But then, you know, they made it obvious through the lines of Grundy. It's like, you remember why I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. So I'm still happy that they're obviously going to fulfill that storyline. But please don't put Grundy back to a backseat role. Don't put that on Drew Powell, because he needs to be in the front line, and I believe they'll still do that. But it was just reminiscent, this episode, when Grundy didn't have too much to do and he was behind Penguin again. I loved seeing them two together. It's brilliant. But I'm worried that people won't enjoy Drew Powell's Grundy if that's all he's going to do. But after this point in the episode, guys, we saw Ra's al Ghul get resurrected, because Bruce, you know, skipping a little bit of that, you know, his blood got put on him. Selena wasn't aware that Tabby was using Selena to get Bruce, blah, 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 to betray, blah, 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 fair enough. And I found this scene really cool with Ra's hand coming out. And the effects of this episode were actually really good, because what I want to jump to now is just straight up to the scenes where Ra's was brought back by the men of the League. They really are segregating them for a very obvious reason. Like, they're trying to tell a subliminal story, I guess, here. The League men brought Ra's back, and he was just like, what the hell, dude? What the hell? Like, do you have any idea how many years I planned my death and you just brought me back? But the League men obviously gave their reason, saying they brought him back because, you know, they were like, I feel like your faith was misplaced in Barbara. She started a war within the League. This surely wasn't your plan, Master, kind of thing. And I loved it when he ripped the throat out of that guy. Absolutely ferocious and cold and just brilliant. I love that on this show. This is why I just love that it's a late night show and they can do stuff like this on a superhero show. Now, I do like how Ra's was just like, you basically, you're a fool. Like, I already knew this. Why are you telling me this? I knew the League basically had to be reborn through war and violence, blah, blah, blah. But then it kind of just skipped. And I was worried about the narrative for a second, because then he was just like, oh, I need to take the demon's head from Barbara, or I'll just kill her. And I was just like, wait, what, dude? But you gave it to her. What? Sudden random change of tone. But then I just thought to myself, maybe he realizes his faith was misplaced, because his disciple, or like his men of the League, were also just like, the thing is, even though you're saying like you wanted war and that's what she's giving, Barbara is very self-entitled, and all she wants to literally do is rule Gotham, and that is what we got in this episode as well, that explanation. And I think that is what triggered Ra's, because we also got the scenes, and I'm going to skip to this, the next scenes between Barbara and Ra's, where it's just like, what? Have you done with my gift? Because Ra's al Ghul's faith was misplaced because he was like, you know, have you not read the histories I left you of the League and how, you know, you can basically the #1 guide to how to be the Demon's Head, you know, the League of Shadows Chronicle #1. And typically Barbara's like, yeah, I read them, but I want to do my own thing. And this is what Barbara, the personification of Barbara is. And it isn't uncharacteristic. She was just like, but I want to be the king of Gotham, the queen of Gotham. Yeah, no, you're right. I want to be a god. She just doesn't have any vision beyond Gotham and being her, everyone look at me, and that is not the Demon's Head kind of rule. They transcend stuff like that. They want to change the world. But you guys probably know all about the League of Shadows, League of Assassins, and obviously Ra's is just like, I need my gift back. Like you are just no. And this is an appropriate time to talk about Barbara as well in the episode. She was a bit annoying to me. I did like a couple of moments which I'll get to. I just feel like the way Erin's playing her, and I like Erin Richards a lot, but it's just, do you know what I mean? The way when she like looks around or when she talks to people, she's very like, you know, like, look at me, I'm entitled, Do you know, it really was like that throughout the whole episode, like, so badly at some points. And, you know, when she was like, put her hand there, she was like, right, end scene. Like, why did I do that, guys? Like, and Tabby was in the background. It's like, why am I doing this? Am I just doing this to look cool? Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that cringes me out a little bit. I know this is a part of a storyline. She wants to be everything about her, but it just throws me off a little bit when it's so forced, you know? I absolutely loved Race's diss, and I love how this episode was basically full of jokes. He was just like, you're just nothing but an unstable nightclub owner, and I was just like, oh, burn, Race, burn. I mean, Barbara, burn. Now, there's also definitely more to Barbara than what he called her, just basically a whore in that photo. I definitely think there is more to it than that. And even Race said when there was the one-on-one towards the end, you definitely are special. But, you know, basically I'm not going to tell you anything more than that for now. As I said a second ago, this episode was full of jokes that weren't too cringy at all. They actually genuinely made me laugh. Like Tabby's, you know, you and your demon's paw, and Barbara was like, the demon's head, like, I liked the scene between Jim and Lee and the Narrows at the club, the Fight Club, I guess. Is it still called the Fight Club? I don't know. I don't know. But either way, it's just cool seeing those two characters interact again, you know, quite on a personal level rather than, you know, just when he arrested her at the end. It was just like they're realizing, right, it's more about Jim just seeing how transformed Lee has become. I liked how he's trying to appeal to her. Jim Gordon, always really the nice guy, even though like Lee really feels like he doesn't get why she's doing this and why she needs this for her. It's a lot of needing in this episode and in these arcs. Like Barbara feels like she needs this, Lee feels like she needs this, you know, ownership of her like new adventure and stuff like that. I get it, I guess. I think it's pretty cool, but I think the thing that I'm struggling with sometimes with Lee and Barbara is just, it's just such a change, such a vicious change. Not necessarily bad, I'm just really on the edge of the fence, constantly falling side to side. Do I fall down in the thorns or do I fall down in a nice pretty flower bed where I actually dig this? I'm keep shifting. I really loved the scene where they were trying to get the knife back. Absolutely brilliant. Selena coming in, very Catwoman-y. Alfred and Tabby's scenes were absolutely hilarious. That was just brilliant. It just changed. It obviously was a part of the narrative, but it was an extra fun scene. I loved the Ed scenes in this episode as a whole. I obviously, but the scene that was my favorite, is when Ed was talking, Ed the Riddler was talking to Ed. Ed is back. It's absolutely fantastic. And I just love the burning in this episode. Everyone's burning at each other, even though technically this is the same person, split personalities. I love what they're doing with the Riddler in this show. I really do. It makes him even more unstable when there's two sides to him. And I just love how he's just like, you gave money to the poor. You know, absolutely, what a burn to the Riddler side of him. I feel like the Riddler is really one of the more interesting characters on the show. It really is a complex arc, and they can really go a lot of places with it. It really does make him very interesting. Now, I'm not a massive shipper of things sometimes, and I am a shipper of Cat, like in the comics and everything. I prefer, you know, Batman to get with Catwoman, which is why I really support it on the show as well, like the beginnings of it anyway. I don't want it fully fledged or anything like that right away, but, you know, I like the slow development they're doing. And that scene kind of broke my heart a little bit, where we saw Bruce's face, David Mazouz, you know, his face, like, you know, really crushed a little bit when Selena went off with Tabitha and Barbara with the knife. I thought that was really good acting as well. It was obviously, you know, cute, sad face, but it was done so perfectly. You could really tell his feelings were hurt, and I was just like, oh man, like Bruce, like. And an example of like things I don't really like how Gotham does does things sometimes. It's like, you know that scene with Harvey and Jim when they were talking to that lady of the bank, and then they were like, you know, Harvey was just like, Jim, let's step outside to talk about something. They literally opened the door, shut the door, and were talking very loud. Like, Harvey started off with a shout at Jim, and they were talking so loud right at the door. That lady could hear everything they were saying, and then they opened the door, and it just gave even more emphasis to what I'm saying, the point I'm trying to make. I feel like stuff like that, it's like, come on guys, when you were filming that, you could have had them walk a little bit further down the corridor, just for argument's sake, like just for the sake of reality as well. I know the shows can't be realistic, but that stuff can be done better. Like, I'm not trying to be picky, but that stuff genuinely does irritate me a little bit, because episodes get done so well sometimes, and I feel like little things like that really are just like, that was so stupid, like, really. Now, before we get to the really cool part of the episode, that was probably one of the most enjoyable parts. I just want to say, another burn by Raish, another freaking burn when Barbara stabs him, and he was just like, ouch. Like, absolutely fantastic. I love it. I love these jokes. Just keep this up, Gotham. I don't want it all the time, but man, this episode was full of it. It was just like, ouch, and then threw her through a freaking glass. I'm pretty sure, I can't remember. But yeah, she just got absolutely wrecked. I was literally like, fuck you, Barbara. I was just like, screw you, when she chose herself over Tabby. I thought it was very, you know, her character, because she wants that so badly. She wants to be the queen of Gotham so badly. Barbara Queen is back, basically. But when Tabby died, I was like, oh my god, they actually killed the Tigress. They actually killed Tabby. Like, fair enough, Gotham could do their own thing. I always thought, I was never sure if Tabby would die, because they do things like that sometimes. But then we found that she unlocked the ability of the Demon's Head, seeing the past, present, and future. At the minute she saw the future. Loved that twist. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely. I really didn't see that coming at all. I don't know, maybe some of you guys did, but I was like, oh yeah, of course. Now, I also regard this point as a twist again. When she gave her powers to Raish, she actually did it, because I actually didn't expect that. I really didn't expect her to actually give it up. I felt like that seriously was another twist. I know, like, they wouldn't have shown the vision of the future, if, you know, of Tabby dying, if she wasn't just gonna take it back, but I really didn't expect that. And as much as I don't like some things about Barbara, I thought, you know what, fair play to you, Barbara. Like, I actually really, that made my heart melt a little bit. And I thought, you know, that's very selfless and the complete opposite of Barbara Queen in Gotham. It really is. And that was touching. I really like that part. I know I've said that 4 times already probably, but yeah. And I thought it was absolutely epic when Raish came back. Oh man, it was so cool. And I have to say, the effects in this episode I really liked. Honestly, TV effects can be bad sometimes, and I thought what they did with Raish's, like, cripply, you know, mummified body when he was walking around talking, that was, you know, that was very good. And then when he came back, that was just so badass, so badass. Now, the reason why I call this the episode of twists is because I already mentioned the couple already, and then we, you know, jumping back to Riddler and Penguin, that, you know, I knew there was going to be another twist technically, because from the promo photos we saw Penguin behind bars. So when you see stuff like that, it kind of does, you can suss bits of the episode out when you were seeing the episode. But yeah, he betrayed Penguin, and he's actually really going down with Lee. He really is, and I kind of don't mind it too much. As I said, the fence situation, the fence analogy that I'm giving you, that is where I'm at with this, especially with that scene at the end where he's just like, I basically really like you, I love you, or whatever, but I know you don't feel the same way, but you will. We've already talked about the whole virus thing and how he said it unlocked in her, and I think Lee doesn't. The thing about Lee that I'm going to say is I feel like she doesn't really know too much what she's doing with Ed, but I think she's going to let herself say to herself, or she already has, we'll see how it goes. If I fall in love with him, I fall in love with him. But if I don't, I don't. But at the minute, I'm just having fun. That's what I read from that, and I respect that. And on top of her, obviously, a goal of trying to get more money and just trying to look after the Narrows and trying to also be a good ruler. I get it. And I kind of like it. It's just the same thing with Marina Baccarin's Lee Tompkins. It's also the, you know, I depend on you. It's just the eccentric, forced, charismatic, almost lines that these two actors are giving. It's almost too uncharacteristic, and I guess people in real life, as I already said earlier, they can change and be a bit wacky, you know, especially when there's life-changing events or lifestyle changes, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like sometimes I don't buy it when those lines or scenes are being delivered. But I suppose they have gone for a massive shift, so that's my logic to it. You know, they weren't exactly. She's not going to be Lee Tompkins from the morgue. So yeah, you know, I always try and put both shoes in different sides of the garden as well. I'm such weird analogies today. Now this is where I wasn't so sure. I was just like, I was actually happy. You know, I think I was actually like quite happy with Barbara by the end of all of this, despite, you know, the look at me, I'm the demon's head. The League of Ladies, not the League of Men. They're literally separate. The League of Ladies came back as like, League or no league, we follow you. And I was like, what? Because then Barbara's just like, look at me. So what this sparked in me is like, okay, I get the storyline, and this is cool for Barbara's character. I almost even like it because it's like good for her. She's still got people, blah blah blah. But I'm worried now. Is there still going to be a competition between her and Raish? And is she going to still try and get the demon's head back and blah, blah, blah? Obviously, this is going to be linked to why she's still special. And they're going to obviously reveal blah, blah, blah to that. And she's going to try and fulfill it, especially once she realizes her actual relation or whatever the F that is in terms of the photo and their history. But yeah, I just don't want more of that Barbara, the really ego power trippy Barbara in the next few episodes. But I think Gotham are going to roll with that. So I'm really in the side of the fence with the Fawns with this, so I guess we're gonna have to kind of wait to see if I get back on the fence. And then of course at the end, Batcat nearly kissed, loved that, but got interrupted by Raish, and then he revealed, I see you becoming the Dark Knight of Gotham, and then obviously the cataclysmic event of No Man's Land. We've already discussed this. I've already said that, yes, you know, he's not gonna become Batman, he's just gonna realize that more than ever that he wants to be the protector of Gotham. At the minute, he's just trying to help out. I think that's all it is to him. It evolved a little bit when he had the Ivy Vision, and that's what got him back on the vigilante path. But when No Man's Land happens, he will be like, oh, this is literally what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I am going to protect Gotham. I'm going to go out on the streets. But he still won't be Batman. Don't think that. But I think they might still even call him a Dark Knight of Gotham. That would be pretty cool because they can get away with that probably. So I know this was a huge, long review. I'm sorry to those who really don't like that, but I love freaking going in depth with things. So, you know, if you're still here, that's what you like about this, I guess. Or you may not like about it. I don't know. But anyway, I love this episode. Absolutely great. I said the flaws in it. I said the things I like. Really, really funny, really cool. So many reveals. I love the lore and darkness and also the magic-y kind of aspect to the League of Shadows they're doing and the stuff with Raish. There's so much to look forward to. It is just, wow. Honestly, as I said, guys, every episode to the finale is going to be explosive and they're delivering. They really, really are. But if you enjoyed this video, guys, I'd really appreciate it if you left the like on it just by hitting that like button. It takes 2 seconds of your time. If you haven't done so already, maybe consider it. I really, really appreciate that. And also, most importantly of all as well, let me know your thoughts on this episode. I'm doing the Q&A separate yet again. I just prefer it since these videos are already long enough. It means I can talk more about, you know, the episode, I guess. If you're new to this channel and you liked this video and you like a little bit of me and maybe want to check out some of my other stuff, why not subscribe for more videos just like this? I, of course, want to say thank you to each and every one of my patrons appearing on the screen right here. If you want to become a patron yourself or check out some of the tiers at least, maybe you're curious what the tiers are and you're considering becoming a patron, check out the link at the top of my description. I appreciate you checking it out either way. Even if you don't pledge, don't worry about it. Just thank you so much for checking it out. You can follow me on social media. The links are popping up on the screen around here. Other than that, I have a Discord server. Join it is in the link in the server. The link to the server is in the description below. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely goddamn rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.